Like uncle is doing, very good in IT, very good in IT. And I was like, if he is in IT, I will join the IT only. If my family have told me this uncle is doctor and he is doing very well, then definitely I will be the doctor at the time.
Okay, so hello everyone. This is a new episode of our channel DevBTS, and this time we have with us my senior and my friend Harsh Manvar. Manvar is currently working in Oracle as a DevOps engineer, and when I am stuck in a technical problem or somewhere, so I always reach out to him on like Stack Overflow or Slack or anything. So I keep in touch with him professionally, but usually we do not get time to meet in person often. But I texted him last week about that I want to create a video with you for our channel, and he accepted it, and he was ready to be on our channel. You give me a time and you give me a date, and I'll be there. So he was very generous like that. So let's welcome Harsh Manwar. So, welcome, Harsh. We would like to know more from you about how you started your journey as an IT engineer. So, I am first interested to know that what was your first spark and when did you decide to become an IT engineer the first time?
Uh, Thank you all for welcoming and giving a chance to be on this channel and recording this uh, session and everything. So you actually I like mentioned about the time and everything. So mostly I'm a free only. So I just dropped you message. That's why like I'm free only. So it is more about you have to manage your time. So it looks like you are super busy. Doing some things around. Go and all those things. Cause I have read your questions on Stack Overflow. So it looks like we have to take the appointment from you instead of
No,
we are giving the appointment.
yeah, that's not the case. Not the case.
So I you also ask about the how it started the journey and everything, but before we start
Mhm,
to give the idea about the audience or whoever looking these videos and everything.
mhm.
So I would also like to give some basic introduction.
Sure, sure.
My name is Harsh, and I'm mostly working around the container technologies, uh, Kubernetes and Kubernetes, Istio, service mesh, and all those things. And in free time, I will be always doing the contributions on the Stack Overflow, GitHub, and all around wherever I can do something. And currently, I'm a part of Oracle, so mostly working around the Oracle cloud only. But I have also experience around AWS, GCP, and all those things.
Mhm,
But this for journey about the IT more started about when kind of when we are a kid
mhm.
mostly. So we heard from families like this specific uncle become a doctor, this specific uncle become IT engineer, and actually he's doing well and everything. So at that specific time, one of my uncle was in TCS and he was doing a very good. He shifted to USA maybe around 2005 or 2010,
Okay.
and I have heard so much from my family like
Mhm.
uncle is doing very good in IT, very good in IT. And somewhere I was also interested into the technology, the mobile phones, the computers and everything, because being a kid we have the we have the hobby to play the new games and everything. So
Mhm,
like I was not a kind of kid that wanted to always create the game and I joined the IT.
mhm.
But for me it was the only sake for the family. Like
Right.
everyone was telling me uncle is doing good, he is in IT, and I was like, if he is in IT I will join the IT only. If my family have told me this uncle is doctor and he is doing very well, then definitely I will be the doctor at the time. So
Yeah.
just for the everyone you somewhere it can create some uh, effect on the mind,
Right.
how it happens and everything. So for maybe I heard about 5 6 years, and
Mhm,
I randomly after 12 I joined the IT and almost since we were together in a college. We spent a time in a college. So, that's how my journey into the IT started. It was just only like I was not super interested into
Mhm.
the something, and I choose it was my passion or something. But whatever I choose, I just make it and took it as a passion, and I just move ahead with that.
Yeah, mostly it happens with us that we select our college like randomly by the influence of our friends and family. But I would say that still we are lucky that by random or whatever reason we chose the IT field, because like we are in the right time to be in this field. Earlier, like there was a time for mechanical engineering and there was time for electrical. And I feel myself lucky that I'm in the IT field and it is booming right now. There may be times that, like after 5, 10 years, there can be a time where something new comes up. But right now, I think it's the correct choice for us. And
Okay.
good to know about your story as well, your personal perspective. Tell us about your college days, your activities about your friends and what your other friends are doing, all this
Uh,
stuff.
okay. Yeah, so mostly I think might be having the idea about my college days. Maybe I think we were in a same building, or like
Yeah,
we were on the different floors. Maybe I
right.
think I was somewhere on ninth floor or fifth floor of the hostel.
Mhm,
But yeah, but since we were studying the same college, same hostel, and everything. But mostly my kind of activity to the hostel was kind of. Going to college, attending the 2 3 lectures, and the main thing I more like about the colleges was first floor canteen,
right.
and it is our my groups the daily job to visit the canteen at least once or twice in a
Right.
day.
Yeah.
So we just used to go attend a 1 2 lecture, eat something into the canteen, come back, sleep into the noon
Mhm,
around like 1 2 3 4, and I still remember in our hostel we used to have the high tea.
mhm,
So maybe around 4 we used to do the high tea, and after that everyone knows either someone is watching the series, someone going out to play the cricket, basketball, gym, and all those activities and all those things. So mostly at the time I maybe started contributing or hanging around into the stack overflow and everything. So for
mhm,
me it was little about that, and in free time I used to do the gym and everything with the friends
mhm.
into the hostel. So uh,
Yeah.
that was
But
more, but still, like I was not super kind of guy spending a full day onto the computer and exploring everything, doing something new and everything. Yeah, indeed, I was creating some sort of small websites project and everything. I was learning the new things and everything, but it was not kind of super geeky. I'm
right.
spending 9 10 hours out of the day and everything. No, it was not that. I was kind of enjoying playing the cricket,
Mhm,
gym, and all those things. Kind of, I was into the physical academy,
mhm.
more of physical side.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to join the India, but it didn't work well with
Mhm.
me. So uh, that is a whole different story
Okay.
about the India and everything.
Yeah. So this is why actually I ask about the backstory of the developers, because people have like an impression that this particular guy is doing so good, so he must be like doing well in academics from the like first standard only, and going like that. But I want to like give the real scenario to people that if you are in the your schooling or if you are in college, you can enjoy the time that you have. You should enjoy your hostel life, your friends. So yeah, this is like the real scenario of every engineer in the hostel life, and we share the like similar stories. So nice to hear about your college as well. Now, I would like to know about your first placement and how you switched jobs after that and ended up at Oracle. So I would like to know about that.
Okay. So, uh, about the placement stories and everything, it is a kind of having, so much of ups and downs.
Mhm.
Because you also might be having the idea we were like same college, Marwadi and everything.
Right.
So actually, when a specific company comes into the picture, comes for the placement to college and everything. Might be having some requirement like we are hiring for the Java, either we are hiring for the uh, business business development people, or Q and all those things. So I was a kind of a neat, or what I can say, a stubborn kind of person. If I will be going or joining any company, then definitely it will be the technical role only.
Okay.
Even I don't know a single line how to write the Java code, but still I wanted to join the technical company only. So for me, it was not at all a chance to be a business development guy, go into the marketing side and all those things. And also, I never wanted to go on the QA side.
Right.
Because again, that kind of influence of uncle was that, as I mentioned in the story,
Right.
because that uncle was being a developer into the TCS and everything. So for me it was the always to be developer, and mostly I have not kind of sit into the placement. uh, but what also again happens is most of the class get selected into the placement and you are the only one. Now what happened, either you have choose to go into any of company and start your career. You maybe now think like everyone got the placement in your class. So you start planning for going to abroad for the masters, or you either have a option to join as a business development guy, marketing and everything, and you start your career with IT and everything. And since if I talk about family background and everything, so I not wanted to join the family business and everything. I was more into IT, or maybe kind of a technology side only.
Okay.
And what happened is that there was the company in Ahmedabad, and I appeared for the interview. And actually, I was like not at all selected in that company. But one girl who has the higher CGPA or the marks than me, she actually got selected.
Okay.
But luckily, she denied to join the company.
Okay.
And after that, they informed the same thing to college. So college send out and written the email to me and inform me, you are selected and you have to go to Ahmedabad for the final round of interview. And I still remember the story. In final round, we were two guys from like our college only, Marwadi. And my resume at the time was black and white.
Okay.
And it is not kind of professional things. I have mentioned about hobby of playing the cricket, doing the gym and all those things. And people mentioned about the project. So when I see the current generation, anyone into currently into the college are doing so much of stuff around, and I'm feel like I have wasted my college days for sure. Because people into the last year have the idea how to create the Android application, how to create the website. They know about the Node, React.js, and everything. Also, I had idea into my last, uh, uh, year of college and everything. But I have not mentioned all those things like what I have done and all those things. And my resume was, after watching his resume and my resume outside of the interview cabin, I was sure, apna nahi hone wala hai.
Right.
And luckily he goes inside, and I don't know what was happening into his mind. He just randomly told me, I have a plan to go to he mentioned about country. I forget the country, but he told me I'm planning to go over there. And I was like, okay, if he is planning and if he said he is joining, then still I'm out of race only. Because if he is joining the company for at least 1 year, and after that he goes over for the master, then also the opening was only for the one person.
Right.
Yeah, and sometimes happens. He mentioned the same thing in inside only.
Right.
So the interview now have the idea like this person will be joining the company for 1 year only, and he has the master plan to go abroad and everything. So
Right.
definitely hiring him would be not the good option. And when I goes inside for my interview, I mentioned everything whatever I have did. Like I have used the server, hosted the created website, and having the views. And luckily my one of site was live at that time. So I set the site domain and everything. He opened. He also see, and specifically at that time, my site was top 8,000 around into the India.
Nice.
So the rank was at that time it was a Google Analytics I
Mhm.
used to specifically use, and at that time there was some Alexa rank. So if
Right.
someone is from a SEO side or something, they might be having the idea what is
Mhm.
the Alexa rank. So this Alexa used to rank the site and everything.
Mhm.
So I shared all the things and everything. He was like, you are managing this site and everything, and I was like, yeah, I have the idea and all those things.
Yeah.
And the first question, it's not kind of first question, but the question which, made my, uh, you know, mm, placement
Mhm.
fix was kind of which phone you use. And I was like, I use the iPhone. And I, put my eyes around like what he is using. So I see he was using those AirPods.
Right.
So it was on table. He was using the iPhone, so it was also on table.
Mhm.
He had some Mac and also those Mac on the table and top. So I got some idea when I was giving the interview. This guy is definitely the fan of iPhone. And
Right.
if I have not done the some good words or not spoke a good words about iPhone, then definitely I will be out.
Mhm.
So he asked me the same thing, and I, explained why iPhone is better than the Android. Because he also asked me the same thing, why you are not using the Android and
Mhm.
you are using the iPhone. And I was like, explained everything, and he was like, "Okay, done." So when I see the expression of his, I got the idea what is happening into his mind and everything. And the last more question more about the technical side,
Mhm.
Node, React, and all those things. A little bit about the PHP side and everything. So it was the general things that everyone
Mhm.
can clear. But the main part was about the iPhone and Android only. So,
Yeah.
and
Presence of
that's
mind
how
was, yeah.
sorry.
Your presence of mind did the
Yeah,
trick. Yeah.
yeah, so that's how it started. And after just a 10 minute, they give me the letter. You are
Mhm.
selected, and on the hand, they just told the both of us,
Mhm.
just sit for a while. We will give you the result and everything. He was the CEO and all those things. Whatever taking the, I'm sorry, whoever taking the interview.
Mhm.
So in 10 minutes, I got the letter, and I immediately goes out of that office and I called that uncle.
Right.
Uncle, I'm selected and I just got the job into the Node.js development as a software engineer into the Ahmedabad, and I shared all the details and everything. So, it started from, this story to being a blessed from the college, how it goes and everything. So it was about the first thing.
Mhm.
Now, moving ahead for 6 months, it was internship and I was learning and then joined the company, completed the internship and all those things. So, in meantime, I used to see the AWS console
Okay.
and I got, fascinated
Mhm.
about the AWS because my daily job was to write the code on Node, Angular, and everything. I was also doing little bit of .NET side and everything.
Mhm.
So writing the MVC.NET,
Mhm.
React,
Right.
everything. So daily I used to open the AWS, see the console, and I was like, if I get every day chance to work on these new technologies of AWS, then it would be great.
Right.
Instead of opening the Visual Code, I will prefer to open the AWS console daily and see.
Yeah.
So that cloud thing start from that level when I see the console and I see I didn't have any idea how to this SSH and all those things work.
Mhm. Right.
Okay, because I was used to write a code. I used to do the Git. After Git, the senior person was doing and managing everything. He
Right.
used to deploy to server and everything. So I learned a little bit from him. Then I get to know about idea of AWS certification because at the time I think Google certification was not there.
Okay.
I think it was not there. I am not 100% sure, but still. So mostly everyone around was, learning a little bit AWS and learning about the certification and everything.
Mhm.
And randomly, I thought, now I think I can change the job because I was, a little bit of frustrated about doing the same thing every day, writing the Node, Angular, and .NET.
Right.
And I was also frustrated about the .NET because .NET and the Java, I was thinking like I cannot do the Java or .NET for my life. Whole life I cannot do the .NET.
Mhm.
So I started looking around, and I drop a email to the 30 or 30 plus company,
Mhm.
around 32 companies,
Okay.
and I gave the interview to ML.
Mhm.
Even I was not knowing the much about the ML and everything, but I still appeared for the interview. I goes there, I gave the interview, I planned what I knows and everything.
Mhm.
And there was one company called the Maruti.
Right.
So it is in Ahmedabad only.
Mhm.
So one of my friend used to work into the Maruti, but I randomly dropped the email to them. The HR was so good. He just invited me like, come and let us discuss what you are looking for and everything. So I was also preparing for the AWS certification time at that time, and also that job was going on about the developing and everything.
Mhm.
So since I was preparing for the that certification, I have the more idea about the cloud and everything, like AWS cloud, and I have
Mhm.
idea about everything.
Right.
And so it was the kind of base. Now I have to appear into the interview, and I can crack any interview for my second job.
Mhm.
So I goes into that company specific, and they ask about the things and everything, like what is the bucket and all those requirements.
Mhm.
Now, at that time, I was only aware about the AWS or cloud side. I was not aware about the container technology.
Mhm.
And you also might be having the idea, or whoever listening this, video. When you talk about the container, you might be having the more idea about the software development.
Right.
If you don't have idea about the software development, creating the container would be the worst things.
Right.
And at least you will be able to create the container. Then it would be hard for you to do the orchestration and everything.
Right.
Yeah, so randomly they asked, and they told me we have this plan
Mhm.
to move our product into the cloud,
Okay.
but they didn't mention about migrating to container.
Mhm.
Okay, so they said Docker is requirement. I said like no worries, anything is there. I will learn into the 2 3 months. Don't worry.
Right.
So I was like, okay, no worries. I know AWS. Then go, what to worry about the Docker? So at that time, I was writing the Lambda functions, the DynamoDB, and I was doing API gateway and all those things at that time. So I was doing a
Confident
kind of
about
good.
the cloud part. So you are like
Yeah,
confident about the cloud part. So you were least worried about what is Docker and containerization.
yeah, yes, yes. And also I was like, if I'm doing a good cloud into my existing organization, then
Mhm.
I can do the same thing, because in that organization people were knowing, but not that much about the
Mhm.
cloud. They used to create the EC2 and everything,
Mhm.
but I was on another level. Like mostly, I was using at that time API gateway and Cognito users. I
Mhm.
was creating the end-to-end application with authentication part, OAuth, and all those things. And I was like, I can make a whole website or application, anything. And
Mhm.
even I started creating the application with that. I forget something was there. So I
Mhm.
created the application with JavaScript, React Native,
Okay.
started using the things around and everything.
Mhm.
So with all those confidence, I got into my second company,
Okay.
that is Maruti,
Maruti.
and I still feel they took a risk only.
Mhm.
Blindly they just see
Mhm.
my confidence and they took a risk on me, and I still confess that the CEO, the Mitul Bhai.
Mhm.
I had the last interview or the meeting with them,
Mhm.
and I still, it was like he just gave me the chance to prove myself.
Right.
So he's, still I see sometimes I see these leaders.
Mhm.
I feel like sometimes, those are the people who give the chance, and they actually, uh, um, get the idea
Mhm.
about someone's self judging and everything. And also leaders take a risk sometimes, and if candidate prove it, then it is the benefit, or uh, check off also for them.
Right. I think sometimes they look for caliber instead of the qualification. That if I
Yeah,
give him a chance today, then he will surely learn the things that we want in like a short span of time.
yes, definitely. So yeah, that was more about, I joined into that organization. I was there for 3 years.
Mhm.
It is a long story, the migration, all those things. I have few, crispy part to that also.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was there around 3 and 3.5, and then uh, randomly I thought to switch after 3 year. I
Mhm.
again applied, and I applied to the uh, remote company option because it was the pandemic. I was working from home
Okay.
during that time. So I was the part of Maruti only. Pandemic going on, I was at home. I thought, why not to switch?
Mhm.
So I moved to one company from the sorry. I appeared for the company into
Mhm.
the Pune's company, and their hiring process was like 4 or 5 steps. You have to give the scripting. You have to prove yourself. You have to give the assignment on the
Mhm.
live. It is not like you do the assignment and you just give the things
Mhm.
live assignment, live scripting, live everything. That I was like, this is the tedious things, but always, have that things to accept the challenges.
Mhm.
So I thought, like, oh,
Challenge
why not to do it?
accepted. Yeah.
Yeah. So generally, people write the automation into the Python or use the shell script or use the Golang and everything. Because when you have the log file to
Mhm.
pass into the interview, they gave me the log file.
Okay.
So to pass the and I written that code into the Node.js, and interviewer was like, you written in Node.js, but I don't know Node. I have idea about the shell script and everything. I was like, well, that is the only thing. But whatever result you are accepting, it is the sorry expecting. It is there only.
Right.
So she was like, yeah, yeah, okay. And I did go. Then I moved to that company. So it was my third company
Okay.
into the
Mhm.
uh,
What was the name?
it was the name was Cloud Core, and what amazing culture.
Mhm.
The culture was super duper. I have not seen that culture like even though I was working from remotely,
Mhm.
I was like everyone was like my family member only. And it is not like I was the part of company and I feel that, but I literally even I drop a message to anyone
Mhm.
today also. Even I'm not a part of company, I still they are super welcoming. The culture was super good. And the one thing I about one thing I like about their organization is in a Slack they have the random channel.
Mhm.
Mostly in all of the organization in a Slack random channel is there only. But
Okay.
I ask a question to you or anyone who is watching this recording: how
Mhm.
active your random channel?
Yeah.
In a day you get 2 messages, 3 messages, how active that channel is. So based on that, I just consider or think the culture is.
Right.
And in the environment, sorry, in that company, the environment was kind of random, was always full. Like if you just move your eyes and you do little bit work, uh, there
There
is
will
a
be a
two
new
three
message.
five,
Yeah.
five messages in random for sure.
Okay.
You know, super good environment.
Mhm.
And my leader, the Sachin bhai,
Mhm.
Sachin Sharma,
Okay.
super amazing guy.
Mhm.
Good into the technical side, good with handling the people, and always supporting, guiding and everything. So super. So all the leaders I have met till now in my life,
Mhm.
mostly I give all the credits to them only. The
Right.
Mitul Bhai, Lalit sir, Sachin Bhai, and all those I have met who were my manager, or
Mhm.
somewhere I'm in touch, the CEO and everything. So all credit goes to them, because I think initially the junior only made by the leaders or the manager only.
Mhm.
So whatever the capability caliber of juniors is comes out is
Mhm.
only due to leaders only. And I have also read this line into one of the bios: leader it's at the last.
Right.
So
Makes sense.
uh, yeah, it was still about all the leaders and everything cultures that third company. And randomly I got the mail from Oracle, and that is how I landed into the Oracle. So it was the Diwali vacation.
Mhm.
I got the mail from USA. This you know um, mm, mem was there who dropped the message, and in a half an hour I just replied.
Mhm.
Because it was the vacation, everyone was on vacation, and I was doing the contribution on Stack Overflow because I was free only. And
Mhm.
so I just see the email, and in half an hour I replied. And after the vacation, interview process goes on, and I just randomly, we was get into the Oracle.
Mhm. So,
So
like,
it was
how do you came into the rise? Like, they saw your LinkedIn profile or something, or were you listed somewhere in the opportunities? Or how did that happen?
mm, yeah. So that specific about like I was not planning for the change and everything.
Mhm.
So I was doing a well into the cloud cover environment was super good. I was not at all looking for the change and everything.
Mhm.
But 6 months or maybe 7 months before, when I was looking from change from Maruti to somewhere outside,
Mhm.
I randomly applied into the maybe some of Oracle postings.
Okay.
And after 6 months, they see my profiles, and generally in MNC process is very slow.
Right.
Yeah, so after 6 months they reach out to me, and they have some plan and everything. So I was like, I have also experienced same experience what you are looking for,
Mhm.
and it was matching. I cleared all the interviews, maybe 3 4 interviews were there. I cleared everything, all
Mhm.
the interview, and also I met this my manager Krishna Kumar.
Mhm.
So again, the super leader is a super great, manager, always supporting, pushing to your limit what you can do, and super technical guy, having
Mhm.
maybe 15 or 20 years of experience from JSP, bare metal, whatever you name it. He has the idea about everything,
Right.
from and if it is a deprecated things, he has the idea. If it is the new cutting edge, he has the idea. So super guy from the Oracle, and I met my manager. We had the talk, and at that time he was kind of not sure. He was
Mhm.
still thinking I'm kind of under experienced guy.
Mhm.
Because the when you are hiring at the 4 year experience, 3 4 years, still it is not a super good. Because when I see in
Mhm.
Oracle, the everyone is having the experience of 10, 15, 20, 25 years,
Right.
and still in my team I'm the maybe youngest one having the less experience
Right.
today also.
Mhm.
So
But I consider
every
that an achievement that you.
yes. Yes, so for me, it is the kind of achievement only to surrounded by these people who have the more experience, 10, 15 years. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it was the all about how I, lended to Oracle, and it is my fourth company.
Mhm.
So the Intellimedia, Maruti, Cloud Cover, and the Oracle.
Yeah. So since like all the small habits that you had, the creating practical projects side by side and doing some experimentation, and that all worked out for you. And generally, what
Yeah,
happens, people do not get that spark that I want to do this particular thing. Like you were working and you had a strike that I want to do something like AWS console, like something regarding the DevOps thing. So that spark is also important, and then you started working towards it. And who knew that email from 6 months back could lead you to. So also applying is important. Many people think like, how would I get a job in Google or Oracle or Facebook or something, and they don't even apply, like being discouraged that it's not possible for me. But if you don't try out that, then things will not happen for you. So yeah, that was amazing.
yeah, so definitely. Also,
Mhm.
the one thing, people just either don't apply for the
Right.
job, or they don't reach out to specific people. I daily reach out on LinkedIn to maybe 5 10 people just to say the hi. I just drop them message. Hi,
Mhm.
hello, how are you? And hello from other side. I just write out one line only. Hello from the other side.
Right.
Nothing much. People don't generally reach out
Mhm.
to ask for the help or ask for the suggestion guidance. As soon as I started to reaching out people, I now know the people from other continent,
Right.
and they are always ready to help you, always ready to refer you,
Yeah.
always ready to guide you. So
Mhm.
ideally, if you reach out to people, and unless and until you don't apply, then I don't think the opportunity will be coming to you,
Yeah.
and someone
On
will
its
calling
own.
from. Google or Facebook, like, are you looking for a change? Yeah, if it's Infosys, yeah, I have seen Infosys and TCS and all those send you the mail. Are you looking for a change? They reach out to you. But if it's a big MNC, then there is a always queue there.
Right.
And if you want to, make out of that queue, you might have to reach out to people for the help, ask for the help, refrain, and all those things.
Right.
So definitely does the things, but in my case, I don't know that I might have applied and that mail comes and I just landed into the Oracle.
Yeah, wonderful story. Okay. Yeah, so that was some great insights and some great stories about how Harsh got into the Oracle. And if you have an aim that you want to join a particular company, you want to join a particular designation, then you should like keep trying and things will happen to you for sure. So let's get to know more about Harsh. So we took a peek on your LinkedIn profile, and accordingly, you are like working as a DevOps engineer right now in the Oracle. So what is like your day-to-day responsibilities as a DevOps engineer?
So, if I specifically talk about, many people talk about the DevOps.
Mhm,
I, in general, if you see into the market,
mhm,
so DevOps is a kind of a concept only.
mhm,
So if I talk about my whatever I'm doing or responsibility
mhm.
into the specific company, generally it gets changed
Okay.
organization to organization.
Mhm,
So as a DevOps, I might be have responsibility on managing the infrastructure into one organization,
mhm.
while into the another one I might be only managing the CI/CD
Right.
and nothing much more than that.
Mhm,
So you know, I've been into the DevOps for maybe 4 years, 4 years,
mhm,
and I have mostly done everything. I have managed the infrastructure, created, managed the production workloads,
mhm,
uh, did everything. If I talk about current organization, so mostly we are supporting
mhm,
the both sides. We are supporting the operation team. We are also supporting the development team. So we always try to keep up the environment, the dev environment, staging environment. Mostly we don't touch the production one.
mhm,
So we'll try to keep everything running and everything. If anything breaks, either it's a infrastructure or CI/CD
mhm,
or security scans are going on, or anything breaks, then it is our kind of a responsibility
mhm,
to handle it, resolve the issue as soon as possible, so the development process or none of the team get impacted or they waste their time. Because
mhm.
when you see to deadline the features and everything, it is important to release on the
Mhm.
time.
Right.
So yeah, mostly it's all about creating the automations, creating the end-to-end deployments, writing the pipelines,
Mhm,
writing the infrastructure as a code.
mhm,
So each time you can create the same replicas of infrastructure and all those things. Also the planning out the shapes,
mhm,
dev stage or whatever UAT environment you might plan.
mhm,
Uh, if any new feature is coming and it is having some sort of architecture planning,
mhm,
so might be joining the meeting for the architecture, giving the suggestion. Ideally it should be like this way
mhm.
instead of if you are following this way. So also always suggesting the best practices.
Right.
So it is more about kind of a day-to-day job we perform.
Right. Yeah. So, like you said, in general, if you say DevOps engineer, people might have an impression that what kind of work you are having. But generally, in corporate, what happens is you wear different hats every day. That today, like requirements change. Now we don't need a person for managing the infra. We have some bugs in our production, so let's solve them first. So yeah, so that is what you are doing. So good to know about what is your daily responsibility.